Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV. I've just realised I probably turned my iPad down. It is down, so there we go. I can't hear myself. Welcome back to AFTV. Welcome to another live show. Welcome to me and Turkish discussing a couple things from Mudryk to Saliba's minutes in the World Cup and a couple other things. But I've just been on a DR watch-along, hence the late start. Apologies, it's my fault. Covering the Tunisia-France game and Denmark, Australia. Credit to Australia. Made it through. Yeah. Denmark really poor throughout the tournament. And I had them in the sweepstakes. That's me gone. But yeah, how are you, mate?
I'm good, you know. Big up Australia. They done their thing, because when everyone looked at that group, they probably thought France, Denmark would have been the two to go through, and if not Denmark, then probably people would have leaned towards Tunisia. But Australia have got it done, and credit to them, man. Apparently, we're in Australia next summer for a pre-season tour. Fingers crossed. So yeah, big up Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up Australia. And yes, we do want to go, Robbie. Let's talk about, let's start with Saliba, because he got his minutes. He had a little shaky moment where he got caught in possession. But other than that, it was just the Saliba we're used to seeing, just defending brilliantly. He's alongside Konate, and there's always been a little bit of a debate between the two, who's better. The one thing I'd say is that I think Konate has got a few years on him, but has also got more injury problems, hasn't he? So I find them quite hard to compare. I think Konate is brilliant, may I say. But look, the French are blessed with two and other brilliant centre-backs.
I mean, there was a buzz around Konate when the buzz first started with Saliba, and the buzz, I think, first started with Saliba in terms of me when Arsenal made the bid and got the deal over the line. That's when I really found out about Saliba and started researching and whatnot. Whereas at the time, Konate was already, causing a bit of noise, him and Upamecano. So yeah, he has got a couple of years on him, but fitness issues the other day on the Big Six, we was not comparing the two, but talking about the two. And when I looked at the numbers, I believe Saliba started more Premier League games than Konate, who came to Liverpool last year due to fitness and concerns.
Is that right?
If not more, around the same.
Sure.
It's not too far off. So that kind of proves that, there is doubts about his fitness and consistency there.
And being consistent with arguments we've made in the past, one of the reasons I've been critical of Kieran Tierney, when we're doing player ratings, for example, in the last season, we weren't just giving him ratings based on an average for the minutes he's played. We actually looked at the amount of minutes he's missed and have to factor that in. So that's why, at the moment, if you ask me which I'd rather, it's Saliba. Forget even just the talent thing, because I don't think there's a lot in it, even if Konate were to come on top. The point is, it feels like he's more reliable, at least fitness-wise. But you never know, and Konate might iron that out and be fine. But, those things we're just being consistent with what we said in the past. So
I think it's fair to look at the minutes missed as well, because it's a question of, would you rather a player giving you 10 performances for 20 games or a player giving you 8 out of 10 performances for 50 plus? I'm going to always lean towards the 50 plus, because a player for 20 games doesn't really help a full season. So, but like you said with Kieran Tierney, I love Kieran Tierney, but definitely points get knocked down if I'm rating him because of his injuries over the years, and the timing of the injuries too, coming towards the end of both seasons, where we had something there to whether it's a Europa League semi-final or whether it's the top 4 race, that we couldn't quite get over the line. And you look at the injuries and the big players missing, and he was one of them, similar to Konate at Liverpool.
Yep, fair enough. He got his minutes. I'm happy for him. He's got his appearance at a World Cup, and good on him, William Saliba. Matty Ryan, former Arsenal goalkeeper. About him. We had 6 months of him. Listen, he did well for us actually when he played, and he's made it through with Australia. So credit to, as you were saying,
Arsenal fan as well. Well done.
Yep. Massive credit to him. Who else have we seen recently? Jesus, but we talked about that when he played for Brazil. Trying to think. Was there anything yesterday?
Who was yesterday? England's group.
Saka didn't get any minutes.
No.
Did you watch the England game?
I watched the majority of it.
So, they won 3-0, yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't tell the story, did it?
Is it just me who thinks they weren't that impressive?
They wasn't. They wasn't. I mean, Wales... In my opinion, Wales in the first half done well to
Matt
keep
Turner was good again. Sorry, Matt Turner. I knew there was another. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was it. But yeah, you look at the first half, and I think Wales done well to go in 0-0. England dominated possession, but in terms of chances created, not much. And then the second half, Wales pretty much capitulated. After the first goal went in, it was just back to back, and the rest is history. In terms of a spectacle, it wasn't really much to take home from it. And from a neutral perspective, it is what it is. They got the job done, England, and they got through as well.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately the headline. That's the most important thing. Everyone says at tournament, but we don't have to play well. You just have to be quite efficient. And I give England credit on two fronts. I think defensively they're pretty solid. You know, I think Stones is a good player. Maguire's playing really well for England. And
they haven't been tested yet.
They absolutely haven't been. Wales were awful.
Yeah, USA saying
really
attacking wise weren't really.
USA
good.
put it on them a little bit more, but
USA were definitely winning it in the middle a lot more.
Yeah.
In terms of chances created and really, you know, putting the defense under the cosh, they didn't really cause much problems in my opinion. So far, you know, they haven't faced an Mbappe and a Griezmann. They haven't faced a Neymar or whoever, Richarlison for them who starts. They haven't faced who else has been a top attacker? Well, big up Rashford. He's got 3 goals in the tournament so far. But this is the questions about England that in the last 2 tournaments they failed to answer. You know, when they come up against a team that's got anything about them, can you get the job done? Croatia, nope. Belgium, nope. Italy, nope. So this is the tournament now where they need to rewrite those wrongs. I know Southgate's got, I believe, 1.5 years left. I think his contract comes to an end in 2024 after the Euros. But these next few knockout games, well, I say few, the next knockout games and the ones to come are a big indicator of how far he has taken them, if he has taken them further from where he took them last season.
Yeah. Bring Mudryk home, says Sadiq. What's this all about?
So, yeah, yesterday,
it's
AFTV.
A full page of notes.
Yeah, I got a few notes here. You know me and my paper and pen, but it's a bit old school, but we move. And you know I've got an iPad and a Mac. I like writing.
No, listen, I rate it.
So yeah, I'm sure everyone knows now. We didn't do a live yesterday because it was predominantly all about England yesterday, so we skipped that one. But we are back here, and yesterday AFTV posted something on Instagram that went viral on Twitter because Mudryk liked the post. The post was a picture of 4 players: Saka, Martinelli, Emma Smith-Rowe and Mudryk. And it was a quote from Patrick Timmins that was used, and the quote was: Saka, Martinelli, Mudryk and Smith-Rowe as winger options, all 22 or younger, yes please. And Mudryk liked it, and you know, over the last few weeks, maybe a couple of months, there's been a lot of fuel to this fire, and that fire being, you know, Mudryk to Arsenal in January. A lot of numbers are being quoted. It's gone up, it's gone down. You know, it seems a lot more realistic in terms of 40 million now. If that is the case, then Arsenal get it done. There was a lot more questions around it when it was 60, 80, 100 million and the worth in it. But I mean, him liking the post, and you couple that up with his interview with Vlada Zinchenko, Alexander's wife, and it seems like, you know, he's pushing for it. He's already also spoken about being priced out of a move, and you know, Shakhtar maybe showing some, maybe loyalty is not the word, but respect to where he is currently in the football world. Yeah, almost
reward him for, you know, we'll grant you a move, we won't price you out, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's looking good if you're an Arsenal fan that wants Mudryk to come in January. It's looking very good. I mean, it's looking more likely that he comes in January than he doesn't, but it also feels too good to be true at the same time. I mean, listen, Mudryk is not a complete package. He's not the finished article. He is an up-and-coming young player. So it'd be interesting to see how he does fare when he moves to a bigger club. Hopefully that club is Arsenal. But it just feels too good to be true in a sense where there's a young player attracting some interest across Europe, and he is very much pushing for a move to Arsenal. I hope we do get it done, and I hope that's a sign of things to come moving forward. But yeah, it's looking good. Well,
Guiding Tranquility says Mudryk is flirting too much, though. No, is there such thing?
I don't know if there's, you know,
in footballing terms.
I think it was it Mudryk that came out in the interview and said, you know, he's never received as many comments and likes and all of this as he has done since he's been linked to Arsenal. I think he said something like that. And when he said that, I thought to myself, you know, I've looked at players that have flirted with Arsenal in the past, and I've kind of accused them of using Arsenal's name and Arsenal's online fan base to kind of get their reputation up and get their numbers up, because that's what we're like online. Whether it's TalkSport saying why is Arteta bringing on a 15-year-old is for his own ego, or whether it's being linked to Vlahovic last January, Arsenal fans click. In terms of clicking, the Arsenal fan base are probably the biggest in the world. So,
well, Tony Adams is still in Strictly, isn't he?
I don't know. I think there was some. I think he pulled out or something.
No,
I don't know. I'm not a Strictly Come Dancing fan.
No,
if I'm honest with you, I'm a big Tony Adams fan, but that doesn't mean I want to watch him dancing. Hopefully he does well. But I saw that he said something. Was it on Insta recently or Twitter where he had to pull out? but I'm not too sure how certain that is. But yeah,
he's coming back for a title charge.
But I think that, yeah, I mean, to follow up that interview with liking the post and mentioning he doesn't want Shakhtar to price him out of a move, it is looking very good. I had my doubts when he said that. I'm thinking, is he using us to kind of get his reputation and interest up? I lean more towards he actually wants to come to us now, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he does use us for that. So, you know, I'm just taking a step back. It's not January yet. We've still got 2 games to go before January. Focus on those, and then hopefully in the first couple of weeks, we do make an addition, an improvement to the side.
He's doing a lot if he's not confident this move's happening. So what I'd say is, if this was just he wants to join and nothing was really going on in the background, maybe a couple of inquiries here and there, the old phone call, then I'd be like, yeah, this is overdoing it. Which makes, but that's why I'm going to give him the benefit and say that he must. And sorry, it sounds like I'm being critical. I love that he's
open and
open all this, but also if you're a Shakhtar fan, you're probably not appreciating this, really.
But they might be used to it. You know, they might be they might. You know, similar to Dortmund in a sense, where Dortmund fans know that big players, young players are going to come in, but those big young players are going to move on in the not so distant future. I think as a fan base, even Shakhtar have had some gems come out of them over the last decade plus. So I think their fans might be used to it, but that's not to say it won't rub them up the wrong way.
Do you remember when Basuma joined Spurs? But I think a couple of weeks before, there's things on his story about Arsenal and blah blah blah. Like, you know, I think what I'm saying is, if I were advising Mudryk, not that he would care what I think, but if I were, I'd only be sanctioning and saying, yeah, definitely like that tweet or post this or talk about this if I'm confident that things are going in a certain direction. So what I'm essentially saying in a very roundabout way is, I believe things are advanced with Mudryk. I believe we are really interested. I believe we are confident that we'll do a deal. And the reason he's being very open, whether it be via social media or interviews or whatever, when the topic about Arsenal comes up or the topic of Shakhtar, of leaving Shakhtar comes up, is because he knows and is confident. I don't think he's just there going, how can I... Almost like, I don't think he's trying to manifest it into existence. That makes sense. No, if I talk enough about it, they'll just buy me. Like,
there must be some sort of a solid link or foundation to the pushing. And I don't know who it was. One of these newspapers, and I don't take much from newspapers anyway because it's all headline grabbers and all this. But apparently a deal's been agreed. I don't believe that yet. But there must be something there. Whether his communication lines are very much open, whether it's Shakhtar just waiting to agree a fee or waiting to be happy with what Arsenal are offering. There's definitely something going on.
Yeah.
And in the summer, we was, linked to an attacking foot. It was more Pedro Neto towards the end of the summer that we was linked to.
That all went quiet, didn't it?
It did go quiet. So it wasn't just a last-minute Douglas Luiz attempt in the last day of the window. We was also trying to bring in another forward. So off the back of that, I've got high hopes. I don't want to get carried away because I like the player. I think it'd be a great addition. And yes, he is young, and that will fit in with what we're doing now. But at the same time, I've seen transfers fall flat on his face a day after, thinking it's over the line. So
look, I'm only judging it purely on, again, YouTube videos and the odd highlights here and there. But he looks to me like a player we've lacked for a long time. And I know people go, what? We've got Martinelli and Saka. Martinelli and Saka, I think, are brilliant ball carriers that can also create, that can also get in the pockets, that can also hold up the ball, they're brilliantly complete.
Yeah.
But Mudryk, again, this is purely based on YouTube, guys. Please feel free to tell me in the comments if I'm talking a load of rubbish and you see a different player. But he looks like a very powerful runner, if you know what I mean. Like, and again, Martinelli Saka can run at players, but he just looks like a bit more of a, give it to me, I'm going to run at this fullback 10 times.
Yeah.
And someone who might kill a side in transition. In the same way, like when Tottenham are defending, and then maybe Kane wins that ball and Son's immediately on his bike, like that. And listen, I don't know. I'll learn more. I'll do my research. Naturally, there will be a Transfer Daily extra video if it comes to that with Mudryk. But he just he feels like an extremely dynamic option for the front three.
It's like I don't know if this is the right term, but it's like a runner with tunnel vision. Whereas with Martinelli and Saka, they're runners, but they're also potentially looking to cut inside, cut back, maybe pass it in. Whereas Mudryk, from what I've seen of him, and again, I'll mention that all of the clips and matches that I've seen him in, he works best running into space on the counter. So I want to see how he adapts to low blocks and teams kind of setting up to defend. But there is a difference. I think he's more direct is probably the right word. That's not me saying Martinelli and Saka are not direct. Of course they are.
It's hard to explain, yeah.
But Mudryk just seems like he gets the ball and he's got one thing in mind, and that's get as close to the goal, the opposition goal as possible. So listen, welcome addition, good age, good profile.
What's his goal rate like?
I haven't checked.
Should we have a little look now? Who doesn't love a bit of live research?
Whilst you do check as well, on Twitter yesterday I noticed, well, I don't know if this is new news, but I don't know if it just kind of broke to the Twitterverse yesterday, but the subtitles on the previous interview with Vlada Zinchenko, Alexander's wife, it shows Mudryk mentioned Gunners towards the end. When we first watched the clip, I think it was taken that Vlada Zinchenko mentions, next time we talk, hopefully you're with Gunners. But actually Mudryk was the one to mention that. So again, that's more fuel to the fire.
I saw something like that, but then I wasn't sure, because then the thing I saw had been deleted, so I wasn't sure if it was deemed not true or if it was.
When I rewatched it with those subtitles, whether it's fake or not, he does say Gunners. So whether it's out of context, he does say Gunners. So.
Okay, this is going to be very interesting. For what it's worth, let's just have a little look at his stats for the 22-23 season. Now, got a love transfer marked. 7 goals in 12 league games, 3 goals in 6 Champions League games. Not bad. So he's currently on 10 goals and 8 assists in 18 games in all competitions. 17 appearances out on the left, 1 on the right wing. So that is a very, very, very decent return.
Yeah.
10 goals, 8 assists.
What's his Champions League numbers? 3 goals, how many assists?
2 assists. 3 goals, 2 assists in 6 games in the Champions League.
And that's probably a better level to judge him off, because that seems like where we're headed, back to Champions League, and the quality in that tournament is different levels. So
and I think Arsenal need to get some raw numbers in the team. Now, whether he carries that over, you don't know. But then some people would have said, well, can't judge Mo Salah after what he did in Serie A, and look what he did at Chelsea, went to Liverpool, killed it, and was seen as their main source of goals for the 5, 6, 7 years he was there, and still is. I wonder whether Mudryk will be seen as a numbers man, as much as Arsenal have all this lovely build up with Jesus and Martinelli and Saka are brilliant, and they can create as much as they can score themselves. I just wonder whether there will be like a killer in front of goal there. I don't know. Just listen, those numbers are impressive. But any of you in the comments, enlighten us, tell us more. I saw one comment from a Ukrainian fan. I will find it, saying that he's going to be a banger of a player. Any of you have watched him more closely, know what kind of player we might be getting. I will be doing more research, but
someone likens him in the chat to Rosicki.
Okay, but see, that's more of like Rosicky was like a buzzy number 10. Like he was like a 10 who could play wide, because he had just enough of an acceleration, just enough guile. But really, he was kind of always a central midfielder for me.
Yeah.
Hleb in similar ways, I suppose. Okay. In which case, calling him a powerful runner doesn't make any sense. But who knows? We'll see more.
No, he's definitely a powerful runner from what we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean,
super chat from Abdullah. You haven't done these super chats, had you? He says, I hope that the board sees that 3 more players for around 150 million is the price to make the Premier League dream possible. Mudryk, Danilo, Tielemans are good targets. W. Small says, Milinkovic, Savic, Mudryk and Gakpo are the ones he likes. Shreth, Gareth is useless, so he'll bottle it in the semi-finals. Just need Saka, Ramsdale, White to come back without injuries. Let's get Mudryk home, he's a gunner. And Smith Rowe's a long way off. Do you mean long way off in terms of injuries? Because I think Gunley was saying he'll be available soon. Or do you mean long way off in terms of talent? Because then I have to disagree. There was this, Kelvin246. Have you heard about Kudus being linked with Arsenal? Have you heard about that?
No.
That came up. I want to say it was a Ghanaian report, but I saw it on Twitter, hence why I'm severely underprepared for this. But he's doing really well at the World Cup, isn't he?
Yeah.
I was asked on the DR stream I was just on which players have kind of been like the standout breakthrough, the ones that you've seen or noticed that you might bring to Arsenal. At the time, I actually said no one, because I couldn't really think, but people rightly mentioned Kudus and Gakpo, and that finish from Gakpo in the second game, the draw.
The left foot.
Yeah. And Kudus as well looks really good.
Yeah, they do. But listen, Gakpo, I was interested in him previously anyway. I know a lot of people looked at the games against Arsenal and said, man, maybe not, but you can't take anything just from those 2 games. You've got to look overall. So Gakpo's always been of interest. I think he's probably closer to Man United than any other team at the moment. It is what it is. I'm more than happy if we was to get a Mudryk over the line. That's not to say I'm saying Mudryk's better than Gakpo, but what I'm saying is they're both not the finished article, and the next step up is a measure of their potential and ceiling. In terms of Kudus, again, isn't it Champions League he's kind of been excelling in this season?
He's got a great goal at Anfield, I know.
Yeah,
and I think he's played as a false 9 for Ajax, I think. But I know he can play midfield. It was Ghana Soccer Net. That's the link that's being shared to the article. Who are mentioning that Arsenal could be interested in Kudus. I
haven't looked at the World Cup and said, Arsenal should go for him. I mean, when I watch Holland, I look at De Jong and I've been underwhelmed. I know he scored, didn't he?
Who, sorry?
Frankie De Jong. He scored against Qatar, I believe.
Did he? He got the great assist for...
I think he got the second goal. Again, that's someone I'm probably looking at in terms of midfield, because we done a show the other day, Supporters Club, me, Chris Hudson and Sheree. That should be out in the next couple of days, people. And it was about, should we raise our standards now? Zinchenko's come out and said, stop talking about top 4. It's more about league titles now. Martinelli's come out and said similar. But that's one way of raising standards. But I guess, in turn, you got to raise standards off the pitch. So maybe it's not the Douglas Luizes we should be after, or the Tillemans. Maybe it is more the players near the top of the tree, and Frankie De Jong is definitely one of those players. So I'm interested to see how Arsenal tackle this window and who they go for. Barca, knocked out of the Champions League, spent a hell of a lot of money in the summer, having already had financial problems. I honestly think that there could be a deal to be made there with De Jong, but I have doubts we'll bring in 2
I would love that deal. I'd really love a De Jong to come in. Just that really elegant kind of deep line creator. Can get forward, but ultimately it's just the way they control a game of football.
Yeah.
I know we've got players, listen, Zinchenko and White do that basically from fullback. Partey's doing it brilliantly. Odegaard in his own more advanced way can do it. Xhaka's been excellent as a box-to-box. But I just think there's room for more different profiles of midfielder in our team, so that there are some games where Xhaka's breaking the lines, box to box. There are some where we just need to control, and De Jong's in there to keep everything ticking. Maybe a Kieran Tierney benefits more from a De Jong, because you see like Thiago and Robertson's allowed to go forward, Thiago sits and dictates. Maybe there's a little bit more of a dynamic there, I don't know. So listen, I'm all for that one. Let's see what the comments are saying. Tielemans is finished, says Dom Frank. Not as a player, but as a move to Arsenal, who knows? We'll see. Mudryk is great, but we still need a target man striker, says Jerish. If United get Gakpo and we get Mudryk, this debate will be going on for years. I hope we pick the right man, says Dree. Dree is absolutely spot on. It will go on. I couldn't believe after like 2 good games, Lisandro Martinez was getting best centre-back in the league shouts.
He's still getting it.
I saw a great tweet. It was something like, Lisandro Martinez is the best centre-back in the league, apart from when we lost 4-0 to Brentford. Oh, and apart from when we lost 6-3 to Man City. Oh, and apart from when we lost 3-1 at Aston Villa. But other than that, he's the best. Listen, he's very good, but, Cristiano Ronaldo's the missing part of the jigsaw, says Twibu. I strongly disagree, but...
Quality-wise, you might be right. Mentality-wise, again, people might say mentality being a winner, yes, but mentality with the ego and thinking that he deserves to start and be an integral part, no. He should just have his move to Saudi Arabia and keep it moving. At the end of the day with Ronaldo, if he takes that move, yes, he won't be under the lights anymore, he won't be watched as much as usual, but at the end of 2023, he'll probably be top of the Forbes list, and, he loves that stuff anyway. So go take that move, be top of the Forbes end of 2023, stick your chest out, 38, 39 years of age, still doing it. And bow out on that note.
Yeah, Mudryk says. Mudryk's in the comments. Amazing.
That's tomorrow's video.
Mudryk's in the studios, guys. It's unbelievable. He really wants to join.
You coming, Arsenal, mate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anthony says Mudryk is similar to Lundberg. Okay. Guided Tranquility says Mudryk under Arteta. Long day. ESR will be pivotal for us regardless of the signings we will make, says CM Bonga. Liverpool want Kudus, says Ali. Other people mentioning Kudus, Kelvin as well, letting us know. Interesting. He's a young Bale, some people are saying. Some people are saying he's like Grealish. Toby says similar to Mudryk and De Bruyne. Okay, we've had quite a lot.
Do you know how many different types of players we've just mentioned?
He's more of a perma Saka.
He's got a bit of Edison in him.
Well, according to Jordan. Abdullah says we don't need to beat City. Leicester City won the league without beating second place Arsenal. We just need to continue winning, and with more depth, we can go all the way. Abdullah, you're spot on. That's absolutely true. But I think it's more if you get that result, because yes, Arsenal were second to Leicester and they didn't beat us, but Leicester did go to City, who I believe were not the champions, no, but they had champions in their side. They'd won it. They had Toure, David Toure, they had Aguero, and they were expected to do something that year, and they went to the Etihad and beat them. So they did get those kind of wins. You could say we beat Chelsea, but it's not comparable in my opinion.
Yeah,
Chelsea have been poor this year.
Listen, of course you can win the league without beating the best team in the league. That but obviously beating the best team in the league can be a platform for confidence and motivation moving forward. And
well, it's a 6-pointer.
Something we've done against Liverpool. You know, it's been a while since we managed to get Liverpool over the line. We've done it now. It puts us in a more confident move going into Anfield, which will be very different. Or going against Manchester City, it's a different side, but we've got a better platform to stick our chests out and be confident as fans and players. I
mean, it's a 12-point swing, isn't it? Because we're 5 points ahead of them. If we win both games against them, we're 11. If we lose both, we're a point behind. So, and listen,
let's get to February 10th and then talk about the.
I agree exactly. I agree exactly.
Because we don't know how it's going to look, the league table. I mean, me and you done behind the numbers the other day, and listen, watch behind the numbers if you haven't already. And I looked into the teams previously in first place after 14 games, and the last two, Chelsea and Liverpool, finished third at the end of the season. So what I want to do is look at it coming up to that Manchester City game and still being in and around the conversation, looking at January and saying we had a good January, we've improved our side, we come out better, and then we'll be in a better place to talk about how much that game will mean.
You know what? We don't shout about our content enough sometimes. Obviously, because in the world of Arsenal, there's always so much going on, but that video, I loved, producing it with you. I really enjoyed it, and I really encourage you guys to watch it. But the thing I really enjoyed was the context it gave me, just about quite how excited I should get. Football can sometimes feel like something that goes on forever. So you can be 7 games into a season and start talking about a title charge when you've got 31 games to go, and then you put that concept. It sounds crazy, but
flip it around. After we lost our first 3 games of last season, everyone was talking about relegation battle.
Right, exactly.
And I was just like, listen, we're not going to be in a relegation battle. It's only a few games. And
exactly.
Come the end of the season, a couple points off top 4.
Yeah.
So the context is good because you take one set of stats and you can run away with it. But if you look at that set, it kind of puts things into better context and perspective. And Grizz said it on Big Six, football's a humbler. So you got to be humble until you achieve something and then shout from the rooftops.
Completely agree, unless you're Cecil and you buy league table t-shirts.
Well, what's it? AFTV have just brought out new merch. There's the Christmas, and then they got one saying top of the tree. I'm sure Cecil's going to get that in every colour.
Yeah, he will. Speaking of the new merch, this is actually from last year, but there is new merch. I'll show you. 3 Kings.
No, I'm pretty sure they've got that one as well.
No, they've got it this year.
Yeah.
But it's from last year, but they've got it this year.
That's my favourite one.
It's really nice. And it fits nice. So go grab it, guys. And it's not just the AFTV Arsenal Christmas stuff. You've got AFTV mugs. You've got some new mugs, I believe, as well. You've also got some It's Coming Home t-shirts and World Cup stuff. So we seem to be jinxing everything. So there we go. Good on us. But guys, the link is in the description, or go to aftvstore.com. Have a look at the stuff from men's, women's, kids sizes, different colours as well. So this isn't just in navy. There's others. Why have I got something in my eye? I'm trying to promote this. This isn't the jumper's fault. I must make that point. Anyway, where are we? We've got Shreth says 100% big clubs buying many players in January due to World Cup injuries and Premier League fixtures, so Spurs might go shopping at Juventus. De Jong will be criticised like Ozil. He wants Milinkovic-Savic. Okay, some interesting points. Do you think he'd be criticised in that same way?
No, I think
I feel like he's a slightly more.
I think Ozil was loved for his first few years, and the criticism started coming once his numbers dropped off and it looked like his application wasn't quite there. I think the criticism of Ozil was more than justified. He wasn't delivering on the pitch, and that's first and foremost. I don't care if you deliver on your PS5 and playing Fortnite. That's nothing to do with me. But if you don't deliver on the pitch, criticised. I don't know much about De Jong's off the pitch activities, but he's at an age now where he still needs to build his reputation as a footballer. So very different positions. From what I know, different types of characters. De Jong is class. He would definitely improve our options. It's not the be-all and end-all. There's still other players out there that would.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm just distracted. You hear the beeping?
Yeah,
Can you hear that on? Can you guys hear that in the video?
I'm parked in front of someone probably, but it is what it
Is
is.
that you? Do you need to go move your car?
You can fucking wait.
Ray Beef says James doing sales. This I should want you guys to enjoy the nice merch we got. But Leonard has asked the size of my jersey. So is this a large? Because I wear them a bit bigger. This is a large, and I'm about 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, I'd say you're more a medium.
I'm more of a medium. Yeah, this hangs slightly, but it's just how I like to.
Yeah,
a medium's kind of the right fit. Cecil's taller and wears smalls.
Yeah, you know Cecil, man. The guy wants that
Sorry.
GQ sponsorship or
We're,
something.
we're all on Cecil, but we miss him lots. He's out doing amazing stuff for CONCACAF.
I don't miss him. The guy's enjoying life out there. Why am I missing him?
No, but like I'm happy for him. No.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. Yeah,
Right,
I'm happy for him. I don't miss him. Just enjoy yourself out there, bro. Come back and be happy. And
I've heard less singing recently around the place.
Less dancing.
I've been
singing.
hugged a few less times.
More well pronounced names on the lives since we're on.
Some of his. Let's just reflect on Cecil's.
For me, it
best
started
moment.
with Monroe.
Monroe was the best.
That was the
guys. If you haven't
pinnacle.
if you haven't seen the Monroe moment, let me see. Do you know what? I want to find it and put it in the chat. Travis put Eric.
Eric. Oh my! I wasn't on that one, but I saw it. I was in the live chat.
Eric was world class. Eric, we had Monroe. We've had a few. He's had a few. I need to try and go back over them. Bless him. No, listen, Cecil, if you're watching this, I do hope you have an amazing time.
Yeah.
Of course we do. And well done, because he's been everywhere. He's been in Canada, he's been New York.
Mexico.
He's just been in Mexico, right?
I think so, yeah.
He's done an amazing job, guys. And of course, everyone on DR as well, covering the content. They've got the watch-alongs. They've got now everything going on out there in Qatar, Flex, AGT, Robbie. They're doing an amazing job. The game's coming up, Argentina, Mexico. And what was the other one?
No, Argentina, Poland.
My bad.
Mexico,
They played.
Saudi Arabia.
That's the one. Shows how sorry.
It's hard to when there's so much football going on. Like three games.
Man said Eric. Trust me, you should have been there. Yeah, there is a lot going on.
Hard to keep up.
And the transfer stuff's really picking up as well on the Arsenal front. He still can't get out. Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear the car having a bit of a struggle? I tell you what, these lives have just got so random now.
Yeah. Traffic watch. Traffic report at Finsbury Park.
Oh, what have we got? This is good. Let's address this. The zombie fanatic says, James wearing a 3 King shirt. I thought you said that you rarely watched Henry and Bergkamp play at Arsenal because you were young then. Yeah, he's right. Can't. I dare. Put this on. Actually, do you know what? I don't really know what I've got underneath, so we'll leave it. I'm sorry.
How dare you be young?
Sorry, yeah. I know. My bad. I was late.
Just because he didn't watch them as much as I have, or maybe you have, doesn't mean that he doesn't know how important, how legendary these players are. If you're an Arsenal fan, you have to know how important and legendary these players are, every single one of them.
You know what it is? I think there's a difference between like knowing in terms of just facts and then knowing because you watched, you understood, you experienced.
Yeah.
Now, I know Arsenal legends like Tony Adams, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira. It's not like I never watched them. I mean, bar all the documentaries, Premier League years, YouTube, all that, you get a very good sense. If you ask me to describe what kind of a player Henry was, I could definitely do that. But I also saw plenty of Thierry Henry, like, you know, from especially those first couple of years at the Emirates, the very end of Highbury. I remember that header he scored against Man United when we beat them 2-1 in the 93rd minute. Yeah. I mean, that was just like...
Dance with Adebayor, innit?
Oh, the roof went off in that place. And like, you know, and then this comeback when he really wasn't anywhere near the player, but he still contributed, the winning goal against Sunderland and all that. So
if he came back, he took 3 shots.
Is that right? Is that
3 goals?
There you go.
No messing about, no wastage.
Yeah. So trust me, you know, I can absolutely appreciate what it is. What I can't do is when people ask me, is Bergkamp better than Wayne Rooney? I can't get involved in that kind of debate because they both at times played as 10s. I think Bergkamp was seen as more of a 10, but he did play up front. But they would kind of, Rooney I saw a lot of, Bergkamp barely. So you're asking me to judge them as what, creators, goal scorer? Then I can't really add too much to that.
I get you.
Big Six tweeted to rate the four: Zidane, Xavi, Iniesta, Mudryk. I can just know from what people are saying that Zidane's an absolute legend, and I can watch the highlights and again see the documentaries, whatever, and I can have the opinion that Zidane was an unbelievable footballer. What I can't do is tell you whether I think he's better than Xavi or Iniesta, because I watched hundreds of hours more of those guys. For me, if you take Zidane out of it, it goes Iniesta, Xavi, Mudryk.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, for me, Zidane's not a part of this conversation. Zidane's a part of the GOAT conversation with Pele, with Maradona, with R9,
I know you're a
with
huge
Cruyff.
fan, yeah.
I mean, regardless of position, there's a select few that are in the GOAT conversation. So taking Zidane out of it, for me, it's Iniesta, Modric, Xavi. No disrespect on Xavi.
Okay.
I just look at it like Xavi in Croatia, would they still have the same output? A final, a semi-final? Maybe Xavi without an Iniesta, would he be the same? And Xavi is probably the most reliable on the ball in terms of ball retention. He wouldn't lose the ball. Probably the smartest player out of the three. But I just look at Iniesta and Modric as well as being so efficient on the ball, they're a difference maker in the final third too. And a lot of people said it's not quite fair to compare too much, and they're right, because Xavi was more deep lying. But for me, final third, Iniesta, Modric, Xavi. But I'm not upset with Iniesta, Xavi, Modric. They're all world-class players. They're all legends in their own right. It's just that I got upset with Tobes not including Zidane with them.
Sure.
When Zidane's so far gone from them, it's mad. I mean, I think this month Iniesta was asked. He said, a lot of people are saying, comparing you to Zidane or saying you're better than Zidane, and he said, no, I don't think so.
Wow.
So
I think Iniesta. This isn't adding to the Zidane discussion, by the way. I think Iniesta is actually underrated in a way. Like when I look back at Iniesta, he could dribble like the best in the world. He could pass like the best in the world. He could play deeper. He could play up the pitch. He could play in the 10. He could play wide left. I just loved him. Like I just thought he was absolutely unreal, and I'm so glad it was him that got the winner in the World Cup final. I just think
probably the closest thing to Zidane in terms of the way he runs on the ball and glides past players. Closest thing, but not close enough for me to entertain Zidane in the convo. But Iniesta, Modric, Xavi, all class. Yeah, all class.
Zizzy says he's right, James. You should be wearing a Kolasinac jumper.
Kolasinac, Ozil, and I was about to say Xhaka, but Xhaka's done the full. He come full circle. So
No, because Socrates, when they all close, I can't remember.
They was, but I don't look at Socrates as much of.
I don't have any listen, I don't really have any ill feeling towards many or any players, but Socrates, I don't. Socrates came in as what he was, like that first season.
Mustafi, Kolasinac, Mustafi, and Ozil. What a jumper! I don't know if you can use Kings for it. You might want to use something else, but free something, yeah.
On Socrates, he had this he came in, and for a year his job was just defend well.
Yeah,
I think he did mostly.
Be a nuisance. Yeah,
he was a pretty big fellow who was difficult to get round, and he was quicker than people gave him credit for. Everyone used to think he was just slow and lethargic. He wasn't. He actually had a good turn of pace, acceleration to get back and defend, and all
old
that.
School type of defender.
Yeah,
in a rugged sense.
Yeah, but ultimately, we moved so far beyond that, didn't we?
Yeah.
To a point where Mustafi was starting because he was seen as kind of more secure on the ball than Socrates. So
seen as, and then we saw everything else unfold after that.
Yeah, what have we got here? Twibu says, James, you're a genius. And he's quoted me, Xavi and Iniesta underrated and Thierry Henry the most underrated. I think he agrees with me. Thank you. I don't know if Xavi, I just mean, do I mean underrated? I think Iniesta's just he's just so good. I don't know how to explain it. He's kind of put in a category of, sometimes he's put in like a Gerard Lampard category by some. And for me, I just think he was levels above that.
That's it. That's living in England tax.
Maybe, yeah.
because there's no chance. I mean,
His levels
Gerrard,
choose better.
Lampard, Scholes, quality, top quality. They don't touch them players that we've just talked about.
Yeah,
They don't come close to those
I
players.
think I agree.
You know,
Where-
Zidane's in the GOAT bucket. Tier 1 would be, you know, Xavi, Mudryk, Iniesta, and then tier 2 we're talking Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, and so on.
Where's De Bruyne?
De Bruyne is probably tier 3. Yeah, De Bruyne is tier 3.
So he's not in the Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard.
Yeah, he's in that one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry. So
tier 2. Yeah, tier 2. There's GOAT, tier 1, tier 2, and he
Sure.
De Bruyne sits somewhere in tier 2.
there's a good video in this, you know.
There is 100%.
Yaya Toure.
Yeah. He doesn't touch that. He doesn't touch them man either. So he's gonna have to fall into tier 2 as well.
When he was at his best, he was unplayable.
Yeah, he was. He was.
I know what you mean. Like, for some, I can't put De Bruyne and Toure quite with Xavi and Iniesta, but
You know what it is as well. I mean,
if you're asking me De Bruyne and Yaya Toure at their very best over Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes at their very best, again, because they're just slightly before. Well, no, not really. Actually, Lampard, Gerrard. I don't know, guys. Help me in the chat.
so what are you asking here? Would you take Yaya and De Bruyne midfield 2 or 2 or 3?
Is that recency bias? Is that because I was watching them at an age where I
Well, we already
appreciated
know
football
Lampard and
more?
Gerrard don't really work well together. We already know that from England. But Scholes quality, especially on the ball, he had a European quality about him. Whereas Gerrard and Lampard were more, you know, English players, and their strengths come from the English heritage. Let's say, you know, passion, application, determination. You know, maybe reading the runs well and whatnot. Whereas Scholes had a bit of Xavi about him. He had a bit of a good passing range, calm under pressure. If we talk about tackling, that's where he lost himself a bit. But yeah, I'll put them all. I'll put Yaya in that tier 2 as well. And listen, regardless of tiers, there's arguments in those tiers as well. There's tiers within tiers.
Yeah.
But you know, just to keep it
Tier 2.1.
Yeah,
2A,
basically.
2B. AFC Max says Australia through to the round of 16. Come on, what a night. AFC Max, congratulations. I know that you've been supporting this channel for a long time. You've been sending in your videos after games. So
Perlo goes into tier 1 for sure with Xavi, Modric, and Iniesta. And
that's really interesting. Okay, let me you just say 1 or 2 for the tiers, okay? And I'll give you some of the names people are putting out here. David Silva.
Tier 2.
So De Bruyne and Yaya Toure are also 2.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. But Pirlo's 1.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's put Matt Ryan. But I think that Matt Ryan through. Okay, fair enough. Fabregas.
Tier 2.
Vieira.
Tier 2.
Busquets.
Tier 2.
Alonso.
Tier 2.
Someone said Riquelme. Was Riquelme a midfielder?
Riquelme was cold. Tier 2.
Okay, what else have we got, guys? Keep them coming.
Someone said Dino. Dino goes into the Zidane GOAT conversation.
Oh, I was just picking out midfielders. Yeah. Okay. Big Ash says, sorry I'm behind. Comment on De Jong. I think he would be a mistake. Almost most of my Barca mates say he's been very average for them and want him sold. Yeah, but we know what it could be like at Barcelona. Schneider.
Tier 3.
Deco.
Tier.
This is fun. I like this.
Tier 3, but it could be a 2. I just off the top of my head, I'm gonna say 3.
Kaká.
Tier 3.
Dennis Suarez. Oh my word. Cazorla, did I say that?
No, you didn't. Cazorla. Unfortunately, who have I just put into tier 3? Deco and
Schneider.
Unfortunately, Cazorla goes tier 4 because of injuries.
And also, we only got I'm not saying he wasn't balling out in Spain before or whatever, but people started to see and appreciate what Cazorla could do at Champions League and Premier League level when he came to Arsenal, and it was about 3 years before he then started hitting the injuries and all that. So, yeah, it's tough. I think in terms of talent, man, that guy was unreal. What else have we got? Seedorf?
Oh, good one. Tier 2.
Makaleli?
Tier 2.
Ballack?
Tier 3.
Xhaka?
Tier 7. And that might be even me being nice, but I'm just trying to move it away from the top 3 tiers.
Xhaka, you're in my tier 1. Don't you worry. Lead us to a Premier League title. A fully fit Diaby.
Fully fit Diaby,
That's an interesting one.
Probably tier 9 below Xhaka.
Oh, fully fit
Because
Diaby.
I don't know a fully fit Diaby.
I know. People put Okocha. Was Okocha a midfielder?
Number 10.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But Okocha class for his position, I'd say just below tier 1, tier 2.
Oh, these are good ones. Okay, Schweinsteiger.
Tier 3.
Okay, that sparked another one. Tony Kroos.
Schweinsteiger might be tier 4. Tony Kroos, tier 3 for sure. He's not Mudryk's tier, but he's the tier below.
So, sorry, tier 3 is GOAT.
Says GOAT, tier 1, tier 2.
Okay, and he's in tier 3.
Yeah.
The one below. Okay,
cool. Oh no, he's in tier 2, sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
One below Mudryk.
Got it. Okay. Well, there's been loads. Those are at Real Madrid, people are asking. Those are Real Madrid?
Ozil Real Madrid class, but he'd be tier 2.
Yeah. And to be honest,
because Silva's in tier 2, De Bruyne's in tier 2. We're talking that, I know Ozil's won a World Cup as well.
Do you think Ozil ever, over a sustained period of time, call it half a season, ever played at the level for Arsenal that he did for Real Madrid?
Yes. It's just that when you're playing for Real, you're faced with a different level, quality and mentality opposition than you are with Arsenal. Do you think as well your brilliance is rewarded more when you got Ronaldo, Benzema? No, he didn't play with Bale. But no, but Ronaldo, Benzema. Yeah. I mean, Ronaldo alone, when you've got someone that hungry and in the prime of his career, I mean, it makes things easier for you. That's not to say what Ozil was doing was easy, because it was far from it. I mean, on his day, tier 2 for me, he's up there with De Bruyne and Silva and so on. But when you move to Arsenal, you look at that 19 assist season, and he had about 16, 17 by January, and then Giroud and Sanchez just decided to start fluffing their lines, and then he only finished with 19. Yeah. I'd say that was the closest he came to being at the level of Real, but obviously with different players in front. Sanchez and Giroud are not Ronaldo and Benzema. Yeah. And that's no diss on them. I just even mean in running in behind and being hungry for goals. Giroud wasn't the hungriest. Sanchez was definitely hungry, but Sanchez was hungry for everything: to win the ball, to run with the ball, to cross it in, to shoot, to score. You're right. He was just hungry.
He'd cross it for himself if he could.
Yeah. Whereas Benzema and Ronaldo, Benzema with Ronaldo wasn't as hungry as Benzema without in terms of goal scoring, but Ronaldo probably the hungriest player of this generation. Clean.
We'll end the show on this one. Mr. Buckfuss asks, Ronnie Pickering.
Legend. That goes with Zidane and Ronaldinho.
The GOAT.
Yeah, he's up there in that conversation.
He's absolutely up
you? There. Ronnie Pickering.
I've never seen that.
Ronnie Pickering.
I've never seen that until you told me.
Ronnie fucking Pickering. He said, "You want a bare knuckle? Let's park up and bare." What a video!
It is class.
What a video!
If you haven't seen it, after you watch all the AFTV content, go watch it on YouTube. All right, well, I think we'll leave it there. No more news on your front?
Nah, Kevin Campbell's on Highbury squad. Big up Highbury squad. Little quote from him. He said, "I truly believe if you're going to pay 100 million, who would you buy? Would you buy Bellingham or would you buy Rice?" He goes on to say, "I'd buy Rice all day long. Bellingham is good. He's younger, but the game Rice has is perfect for what we have, or what we are going to need. I'm thinking he's a natural successor to Partey, who does things in a different way, but he can control a game himself." So just to round it off, if we have 100 mil and Declan Rice and Bellingham are the options, who do you lean towards? Because I think what Kevin's failing to add here is, yes, Xhaka has improved this season, but Bellingham coming into that sort of a position and they're making those runs into the box is a very different beast to...
So what you're asking me is if I'm going to publicly on screen, on camera, disagree with a former Arsenal striker...
Well, I've
Sky Sports pundit. No, I'm not. He's absolutely spot on. Yes, I'm with you, Kevin Campbell.
There you go, Kevin.
Absolutely. Whatever you like, mate. Whatever you like. No, look, if I'm being really honest, like I hear it, I think Rice has the attributes to maybe be that long-term 6. But I still think if Partey is on the right side of the fitness issues, I don't see why he doesn't play another 4 years in that role.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'd spend the money on Bellingham because I can see where he immediately can break into the team.
Yeah.
I just don't see how one of Rice or Partey then become more box to box or something. And then you've got £150 million worth of talent with, you know, a big chunk of that sitting on the bench. So Bellingham
I agree
for
with
me.
you. I wouldn't turn my nose up at either, but if it was a choice, Bellingham for me as well.
Yeah. All right, there was one super chat that came in. Let me just quickly grab that. Everyone's laughing at Ronnie Pickering. Bellingham all day, says Robbie. FC Max says, James, I've been up since the start of kickoff. It's 5 a.m. Sydney, Australia. I'm so proud of the boys. I've been drinking. I might be plastered, but I love you, James, and FTV. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Enjoy, man. Enjoy, man. It's not, you know, it doesn't. When Turkey finished third in 2002, I thought, yeah, better. Not necessarily better days are coming, but we've, you know, launched ourselves into the world scene, and you know, good things are coming. It's never been as good as that since. So enjoy the moment. Obviously, recognize Australia are far from one of the favourites, so just enjoy the rides, you know. And it seems like he is plastered.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Now, what am I doing on my phone so rudely during a stream? I'm showing you that the Forever Arsenal podcast is on Spotify.
Yep, we're there.
Go check it out. We are there, guys. We are coming to all podcast platforms, and we are on all bar Apple, but we might be on Apple now. That was being dealt with today. Don't worry, we will be on Apple, but we are on Spotify. As you can see here, Forever Arsenal podcast. Go check it out. All the latest episodes have been updated as well as yesterday's, which we recorded. And it was good. We talked about drawing Oxford in the FA Cup. We talked about the Mudryk stuff as well, as we've done here. But obviously you've got Jordan and Lee, you've got comments of the week. It's great fun, guys. So really encourage you guys to go and follow. So you can hit the follow. As you can see, you can turn the notification on. You don't have push notifications enabled on Spotify. Turn on. There we go. I'm setting a bad example. There we go. It's on. You get the point. So go check it out. And do that on a day where Spotify Wrapped has come out. Let me just see if I want to unveil mine. This is... Why was it taking so long? Thank you for spending 22 with us. It's actually taking ages. It won't show me. Oh, here we go. Migos, Drake, Travis Scott. Okay.
Go to the last one. The last one wraps out for you. Yeah,
I'm on that. Yeah. Mafia, Travis Scott's my most listened to song of the year. And Kelly Price is up there. What a banger. Right, have you done yours?
What are we doing? Top artists or top songs?
Either.
Artists, Young's Teflon first, Ghana second, No Cap third, Asake fourth, Burna Boy fifth. Nice mix there.
Yeah, lovely. Go do yours, and then go listen to the Forever Arsenal podcast, guys.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to leave it there. The World Cup is back in just under an hour, but the DR Sports stream starts in 25 minutes, so go check that out. My good friend Lamar's going to be there, and then obviously they are watching Messi, Argentina. Can they book and seal their place in the knockout round? I haven't actually even seen what the kind of situation is. So I need to have a little look at that, but they'll have that all covered. They're going live in 25 minutes, guys, so go have a little look. And of course, grab your Christmas jumpers, your Christmas t-shirts, or anything else. All right, really appreciate it,
Love,
mate.
James, as
really
always.
Appreciate it. As always, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you very soon.
Love.